Live from RBA Studios in Kigali, Rwanda, this is RTV News. Top of our edition today, senators have asked for urgent response to students dropping out of schools at the age of 12. Also coming up, according to Rwanda Biomedical Center, 96% of the children in Rwanda have been vaccinated. We're glad to have your company. Welcome to RTV News. I am Isabel Masozera. We begin with telling you that the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, has tweeted his condolences to the president of Turkey and the people of that country and Syria following the earthquake that has hit those two countries. The huge earthquake killed more than 2,700 people in Turkey and also northwest Syria on Monday, with freezing winter weather adding to the plight of the thousands left injured or homeless and hampering efforts to find survivors. Moving on, senators have asked for urgent response to students dropping out of school at the age of 12. This is contained in the report of the Senate Commission on the Social Welfare and Human Rights to the Rwandan Parliament.
The report of the Senate Commission says that family conflict will lead to the problem that causes more children to drop out of school. This is also confirmed by some of the principals of primary education schools.
I noted two students in my school, one in primary and another in secondary. And when their parents had serious disagreements, I became worried that the students might be affected if the school doesn't do something about it.
The report, as announced by the Senate Commission, there are other issues related to this, including children who have finished primary school and high school but fail and refuse to redo the exam, teenagers with unplanned pregnancies and other various problems. The senators says that it is surprising that there are local leaders who are not contributing to the solution of this problem, which seem to be taking over the country. The leaders from sectors who have dropped out in their sector, did the Senate Commission leave those leaders? Because I don't understand leaders who also have children who don't go to school. What would they advise to them? Yet a leader must set an example.
When you read this report, you note that in most sectors, the educational advisors don't do their jobs well, or they're not well trained. And in some cases, you find that the sector doesn't even have an educational advisor. And when they do, they are given other responsibilities. What we can therefore do is find a solution to this problem, because we need educational advisors to be trained, and that is why they were chosen as part of NSD, because everyone agreed that it was a solution for this problem, but things were not implemented as we wished.
The chairperson of the Committee on Social Welfare and Human Rights in the Senate, Honorable Umuhire Adri, says that they see some change to be done to find solution to this problem. The first decision is to follow up and bring back the children who have dropped out, especially those who finished primary only, and those who dropped out after high school. The second decision is to follow up closely the education of children from family with conflict, so that their parents' conflict doesn't affect the children's education. The senator also says that they have found that there are still many children who have not gone to school so far, especially in Nyanza, Musanze, Burera, Gisagara, Rutsiro, and Gatsibo, while the district of Ruhango, Kicukiro, Huye, Rubavu, and Karongi are the ones with fewest dropouts. Boys are the most dropouts in primary school with 11.3%, while girls are 7.7% on the other hand. But in secondary school, the report shows that girls are the most dropouts because they are 11.1%. Jessica Agasaro, RTV News.
Thank you, Jessica. Now, according to Rwanda Biomedical Center, 96% of the children in Rwanda have been vaccinated. Rwanda is one of the 38 member countries of the International Vaccine Institute. The leaders of this institute are currently visiting Rwanda to check on the status of the country's immunization program. Jessica Gasaro once more.
In the Gatata Health Center in the district of Gasabo, Monday is the day dedicated to giving vaccine to children who are 1.5 months old, 2.5 months old, and 3.5 months old. The nurse who is in charge of child vaccination service at the Gatata Health Center, Uwamahoro Christine, says that generally parents have understood the importance of vaccinating their children. They started registering information online in July last year and made it possible to prevent child who misses vaccines.
Azana attestation de naissance.
For the first time, the mother brings the birth certificate to show us if the child is normal or healthy. We register their file number in the system and immediately see the details of the child. And from there, we put the vaccine and the child will be given. When the child comes back for an appointment, we put in the vaccine that the type of the vaccine the child received. We register that in the system, and this helps wherever the child goes, whether in the province or another clinic, they already have the data of the child in the system. So technology helps us identify the children who got vaccinated and those who didn't. Uwamahoro Christine continues saying that the effort should be made to prevent any lack of vaccine in health centers. At the end of the month, we make a report on the children we have vaccinated and see the vaccine we have in stock, which help us know what we need and apply to the district hospital. There are no problem of lack of vaccinations we've had so far, but when there are many children, we immediately order vaccine from the district hospital before we run out of it. The interim director of the Department of Child and Maternal Health at the RBC, Hassan Sibomana, says that Rwanda is one of the 38 country members of the International Vaccine Institute.
There are common vaccines that countries are involved in, such as the cervical cancer vaccine, the diarrhea vaccine. They are involved in making vaccines more available and the availability of new vaccines for diseases that are epidemics, as well as finding new ways to make them available cheaply to all countries. Cervical cancer vaccines have been provided for 12-year-old girls since 2011 in Rwanda, and more than 1.3 million people have been vaccinated. Every year we immunize between 130 and 140,000 people.
This Monday, senior officials from the International Vaccine Institute were on a visit to Rwanda and visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial in Gisozi. The chairman of the board of the International Vaccine Institute, George Bickerstaff, praised the courage of Rwanda in fighting for peace and rebuilding after the genocide against the Tutsi.
Beyond sad, but what I appreciate is the courage of the Rwandan people to keep moving forward with peace and forgiveness. It's a message for the entire world. Keep loving people. Love's a lot better message than genocide. We have to all be paying attention to what's going on around us. This didn't come as a surprise overnight. It happened over a long time, and people weren't noticing or chose to not watch, not to pay attention. And that's very sad if something's happening to you and you turn your face. So the message is keep watching, be vigilant, and stop bad things from happening.
The International Vaccine Institute was founded in 1997 and it is based in South Korea. Their main priority is to improve children's health by providing them with new and effective vaccine. Jessica Gasaro, RwandaTV News.
Powerful message there. If we keep attentive, we can prevent bad things from happening. Thank you, Jessica. In more news, the Ministry of Trade and Industry says that having a mutual recognition agreement for the African continent will increase the level of trade between African countries. Betty Motoni brings us this report.
1st January 2021, the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement came into effect after it was signed in Kigali in August 2018. It is an agreement that grants 90% of the products of the countries that have ratified this agreement will be tax-free and all obstacles will be removed. The representatives of their countries say that this mutual recognition arrangement is important and they are ready to work closely to make sure that it is put in place.
And we are hoping that under this MRA, we can really operationalize to ensure that our conformity assessment bodies are working closely together to facilitate trade. So going forward, I think what is important is for other member states from within the continent to come on board onto the MRA so that, we are all together from the very beginning and that no one will be left behind and that we'll all be able to trade easily for the benefit of our countries. And it will be mutual benefit, because we'll all be talking the same language.
As Rwanda Standard Board, we are ready to provide services to our customers, to our clients, because we have accredited services such as certification services, testing services, and metrology services, and we have harmonized standards to facilitate these trades.
Before this mutual arrangement, we don't have anything that will bind Africans together. We have been participating in ECOWAS mutual recognition, and we know that there's a lot of advantages when we key into it.
Africa will be having 1.8 billion of people, and the African Continent Free Trade Area will create job opportunities totaling to 100 million jobs. This will help the trade between the African continents grow from 1.2 billion to $5 billion US. African Region Organization for Standardization Secretary General Dr. Hemogene Senjimana noted that this mutual recognition arrangement shows how much African continent is working hard to develop the continent.
We want to develop that capacity, but you cannot reach at 100% capacity before you start even enjoying the trade itself. This document allows different countries putting on mechanism where we can have peer review mechanism. The expert from one country can go to the other country and assess their quality infrastructure and create now the trusts among the traders, among the institution, thus fulfilling the 1-1 principle that we are saying. Once a product is from one country A to country B, it's not retested. We believe that will also reduce the price of the product on our market and increase actually the share of intra-Africa trade.
Richard Niwenshuti, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade and Industry, encourages all the partner states to do all way possible to make sure that this mutual recognition becomes a reality.
So mutual recognition is particularly focused on seeing the aspect of standards and quality and conformity. We look at different aspects. We look at customs, we look at migration, but this is focused on standards and quality of conformity. So by discussing on this mutual recognition, our intent is that we can, as different partner countries and especially partner states within MRA, we can recognize the procedures and standards of different countries and allow trades to flow within the different countries. So today they are going to work on a technical documentation, they are going to discuss on different aspects, but the objective and the outcome of this is to see that we facilitate our trade among the different countries. But two, also, we want partner states to, as much as possible, if they need be, assess each other to make sure that this mutual recognition really becomes a reality and is put in practice. We would not wish to see NTBs, non-tariff barriers, happening along standards. So that's why we want to open up, discuss and engage each other, and where need be, improve our own standards together.
Delegates from 6 countries are in Rwanda from 6th to 10th January 2023 in the 3rd physical meeting of putting the mutual recognition arrangements. These countries include South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Zimbabwe and Rwanda. After these mutual recognition arrangements will be shared to 55 countries that have been ratified for the African Common Market. Betty Mutoni, RTV News.
Thank you, Betty. Members of the Namibian Parliament serving on the Economy Committee have made Rwanda their destination for 5 days, and they have engaged in discussions with the Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies about potential alliance between both countries. Precious Kirezi explores.
The Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, Honorable Donatil Mukabalisa, is hopeful that this visit will fortify the pre-existing good relations shared by Rwanda and Namibia. There is always something we can learn from one another during these visits, and being intentional about maintaining the good relations between our parliaments is in the best interests of those we represent. We are also pleased with the visit, especially after our head of state's trip to Namibia was returned by that of the Namibian First Lady at Imbuto Foundation's 20th anniversary. Namibian parliaments have visited on various occasions, and just last year, the Innovation Committee was here. We also established an alliance between the parliaments of Rwanda and Namibia, which is symbolic to how important it is to strengthen the relationships between our countries and parliaments alike. According to the chairperson of Namibia's Standing Committee on Economics and Public Administration, who is leading the delegation, this visit is set to benefit both countries and contribute significantly to continental innovation and learning.
Rwanda is doing impressive work in the African continent, and we all want to do a very, very good job. So we came to learn how Rwanda managed to bring people together. We know the history of Rwanda, and we don't want to go there. We don't want to discuss it, but that is a history. But to unite the nation and bring the country to where it stands is so impressive. For us, Namibia, we are independent 32 or almost 33 years ago, but the level where we are and the level where Rwanda is far ahead of us. So we came to learn from our sisters and our brother. How do they manage to bring the people together? How do they manage to, with a huge population in a very, very small country, how do they manage to develop their country so fast? So we came to learn, we came to benchmark the good policies that they have, the policies that improve the lives of the Rwandan people, because the development here in Rwanda can be felt even by person at the very, very, very grassroots level, which is not really the case in our country.
The delegation of Namibian parliamentarians is expected to observe parliament activities and explore the economic, innovative aspects of the country through the different institutions they will visit. Precious Tirezi, RTV News.
It takes a village to make this happen. Special thanks to the RBA team that brought this to you. I'm Isabel Masozera. Do keep RTV.